As a fourth-generation entrepreneur and business owner, I know the grit and grind that it takes to run a business. With Chingon S.A, we're capturing stories from other local business owners and community leaders to highlight them for you, our querido community of San Anto. From the culture, for the culture. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chingon S.A. I'm Luis. I'm the host of the show, and want to welcome you back to season 2 of the show. I'm super excited for you guys to join us, and also to introduce you one of my favorite chefs in San Antonio. Maybe he might not think so, but Alex Paredes is the chef and owner of Tacopolis in just outside of the Deco District, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you're familiar with the area, it's a neighborhood I've lived in for the last 10 plus years. The store that he's in now used to be Snow Monkey. Super, it was a great little spot to get, all kinds of different snacks. And Alex took over that spot. What's it been?
7 months now.
7 months? Yeah. That's awesome, man. So welcome to the show, Alex. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you've been a chef now, self-proclaimed glorified cook for the last 15 years or so.
Yeah. In the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Yeah. How did you start? What brought you to the kitchen, man?
Well, it goes back. I started cooking way back, like maybe when I was 14, 15.
Yeah.
I started cooking in Mexico, learning all the recipes we used to watch the chefs, the world chefs or something like that on TV. And we used to try to replicate, me and my cousin used to try to replicate some of the dishes and all that stuff. Then I moved to the States, and I knew I wanted to do something with culinary, but as I grew older, I guess I went to business school and all that stuff, and then I figured I didn't like it. I didn't like being in a little cubicle, that kind of stuff. And I just started cooking and washing dishes, serving tables, all that stuff that you do, trying to earn that time on the restaurants.
Yeah. You had to earn your keep. They weren't just going to let you start cooking food right out of the gate.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was a hard time because I was coming in from, working corporate or business meetings and all this stuff. And then I went to a kitchen where I was the lowest of the lowest.
Yeah,
and
you had to do the grunt work.
Yeah. But it was good. I learned a lot from a lot of restaurants. And
what was so growing up? What were like some of your influences, or who were some of your influences in like the cooking space?
Well, I think it had to be Anthony Bourdain and what's her name? It was another travel show. I actually was on it.
No kidding.
For the Travel Channel. What's her name? I'll let you know.
Yeah.
The name will come back.
Yeah.
But just traveling and looking at all the food, because in Morelia it's a very small town and you don't see a lot of different culture of food. It's all Mexican.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just watching those travel channels and what was his name? Right now. So long ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious. So what was your episode about, the show that you were on?
San Antonio.
Okay.
San Antonio.
So like the host came here and they
What's her name? I can't figure it out. But she started right when Anthony Bourdain started the show too.
Yeah.
So I was maybe 15, 16, and she came to San Antonio, went to the missions, farm table, all that good stuff. And then they called me and they're like, "Oh, we want to be there." And they showed up to the restaurant at the south side.
This was Carnita Lonja at the time? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Man, I was a huge fan of that restaurant, and I love that you're incorporating that what you were doing there at Tacopolis.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking the different styles of carnitas and all that kind of stuff, man. that's probably my favorite dish. That and the chorizo, is probably my favorite thing. But so how did you move from the kitchen to the? I mean, you had the business experience or the corporate experience rather, but how did you move from wanting to be in the kitchen to wanting to be an entrepreneur? Right, what was that kind of journey for you?
I think it was always there. I knew when I went, my goal was to be a restaurant owner.
Yeah.
So from the start, I knew I had to learn how to cook in the kitchen or the industry, like in a restaurant. Because I knew how to cook at home, and I could cook for 100 people at home and stuff like that. But cooking in a restaurant is way different than doing that. And then also knowing the business of a restaurant. You know, it's not simple.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted a restaurant, and I knew I wanted it fast. Because I was already 30, so I didn't have much time to I'm gonna go here, do that, and kind of do the chef life. So I just went in and just cook, and then when everything just kind of set up for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna get out of. If I stay on this job, I'll probably stay here another 4 years. But if I leave, I'll open a restaurant in like 3-4 months. Yeah. And that was my way of thinking. Like I always say, like I have this time to do it, so I got to do it. If not, I'm gonna have to go back to do something that I'm not.
Yeah. So that was that was a big motivator. You didn't want to go back to the corporate world. You wanted to be in the kitchen.
Yeah. I wanted to be in the kitchen, and at the time I didn't know what I wanted to cook, so I just cooked a bunch of different stuff, and
kind of finding your niche.
Yeah, and then I quit my job at Luke, and I decided to go for a little trip in Mexico. I told my girlfriend I'll be back in 2 weeks. I didn't come back in 4 months.
Dang! And she let you go by yourself.
She wasn't happy. She's my wife now, but yeah, it was.
Well, then it worked out okay for you.
Yeah. But it was one of those things that I was so hungry of knowing the Mexican style of cooking, and like my goal was to go and like learn from all these chefs, and Enrique Olvera was a very, very big name, and so my goal was like go to Mexico City, stage at these restaurants and all these things, and then I got there and they're very busy restaurants. They don't have the time for, like you have to apply months and it's very hard. It's small kitchens and a million people wants to get in there, so it's really hard. So I ended up going around those restaurants and like eating with the cooks and where they used to eat like on their breaks and stuff like that. Go out at night with them. So I just traveled Mexico, learning the food, learning how to cook the stuff. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
It was
what a great way to experience culture, food, and people, right? Just digging in and getting in the trenches with them.
Yeah, it was. And I learned. I think I learned more from them outside the kitchen that I think I would have learned being in there. Because then sometimes you can't talk, or you're just working,
right?
And you don't really get to talk to anybody. And the way that I did it, I think it was just like I learned so much why they cook like the way they cook,
right,
in those places, and I brought that back with me.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like doing this show with other business owners and entrepreneurs is because, whenever I'm meeting with clients or whatever, a lot of times the conversation is structured, right? It's structured on what it is that they're looking for and how my services can help out, right? So yes, I get to know the business owner to some extent, but at the same time, like having these conversations outside of work. I get to learn the history, like your history and how you got into the business. And how you kind of navigated some of the challenges. It's one of the reasons why I really like conversations like this. I didn't know that you had traveled Mexico for 4 months doing that.
Yeah, I always did. My mom, she was very helpful with us, I guess. She would just tell us, like, go travel, go places. So during from 16 to 23, I traveled all Mexico. I stayed in different places. It was very, very good experience, and I don't think that happens anymore. Like, people don't just let 16-year-olds travel all over the place. And it was, you learn a lot.
What was one of what is one of the best memories that you have of your travel in that 4-month period that really just kind of helped to influence your style of cooking, what was that? What's a really good memory?
I was in so many places, and some places were just one day or like a couple hours. But staying in Mexico City, that's just like a bomb to your head. Like, you can go from one corner to Mexico City to the next one, all the way. Takes you like 6 hours to get to the other side, and just the difference of the city is so big. And I had some of the best mariscos from Sinaloa there. It was just this guy with 2 ice chests at like a car garage. He had some beers, smoking a joint, and making really good tostadas and ceviches. And like that place.
So a street vendor.
I think it was his house.
Oh, okay.
So it was, the tables were outside, but his little kitchen. But I mean, he didn't have a recipe or a way of making anything. He just cut the fish there and like put a little piece of shrimp and some octopus and whatever he wanted to do, and then he just take it to your table and you eat it. And it was like, you didn't ask for anything.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for like what you wanted or anything. You just said.
He just gave it to you.
And he will like, oh yeah, how many? 4 people? Okay. And then he just started cooking, and and then just people walking by and talking stuff. And for me, that was like the way that he treated his customers and the way that he served his food was him.
Yeah.
And that's something that for me is what I try to replicate. Like when you go to my restaurants, like I want you to know that I'm serving your food.
Yeah.
Like I'm making your tacos. I made the salsas. I cut the limes. I did it. I want you, and then if I have time, I'll talk to you. And like I try to remember most of the people that I serve. But there's that kind of one-on-one. I've been offered a lot of big restaurants and stuff like that where you don't get out of your little kitchen in the back, and you don't never see who eats your food. And that for me was just like, no, I'm not meant to do this kind of stuff. I want to be with, like, and when you go to Mexico City, like all the taqueros are serving you the tacos. All the coffee owners, they're serving you the coffee. And you're talking to them all day, and that experience is very weird here in the States because it's business here, and like it's very weird where the actual business owner is there doing the thing.
Yeah.
So it's for me was like this is the way that I want to go towards my business.
There's something to be said about that experience that you're describing right now. Like I absolutely love when I can see and get to know, because you don't have like a traditional setup in your restaurant. Sure, you've got tables and all that kind of thing, like where people can eat, but your kitchen is kind of open, and people can see into the kitchen, and see what you're doing back there. And I love that I mean, you can almost reach out and touch you basically. I mean, you don't want people to touch you, but But yeah, I mean that you can feel that connected to the kitchen is, I mean that says something about the experience that you want your guests to have at your restaurant. I think,
and I think a lot of the troubles, I don't know if that's the word, but when I get people want me to help them open their restaurants and do consulting for them, I always pitch the open kitchen
concept.
Because I just like whatever food you're making, if people see you making it, they're gonna have that bigger trust on the product or the establishment, and it's just something that you can't replicate having a closed kitchen, like so that thing, like I want people to like I already have people that come in once a week, and they come in and they're like, give me a pat in the back, or like, how you doing? That for me, it's like I'm being part of that neighborhood. That's what I want out of this business. I want them to feel like this is their space. They can come in and they're gonna have this same thing cooked by me or the taquero that's there. But it's there. It's the neighborhood thing. It's not somebody else's. Like putting a store there, like an Oxxo. Like their area. Like this is something meant for that place. Yeah. And only that place. So.
I love the neighborhood vibe that you guys got going on. I've been there several times. Sometimes, I've been there a couple of times where there's a line out the door, man. People are waiting to get. And I think that's a testament. Weekend. What's that?
It was a crazy weekend.
Yeah, that's a testament to the product that you're putting out, the environment, the culture that you're trying to bring to the area. Is that is that what you've always wanted to cook, is Mexican style food? Is there like a territory that in Mexico that you like I don't know if appreciate's the right word, but like if you prefer to cook over a different territory in Mexico?
After that big trip, I saw Mexico as one. Because I grew up in central Mexico in Michoacan, and being around Guerrero, the coast, it was that kind of food that I knew. A little bit of Mexico City, a little state of Toluca, but north food. I didn't know.
Gotcha.
From like Monterrey, Sonora. That was so beyond me. Like burritos, I've never had a burrito before I came to San Antonio. Now I see it all. It's all the same food. It's different names. They'll call it mole de olla in some places, es caldo de res in some other places, but it's the same dishes basically everywhere, and just cooking fresh. I think that's something that I really learned from there. There's this thing where you can have the same 3 ingredients and cook them 4 different ways, and they'll taste very different.
Wow.
So it's just depends how you cook the ingredients. But I really like cooking seafood. It's one of my favorite things.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not a big seafood fan.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll eat like a cocktail and some aguachiles, but it's just the how delicate the fish is, and like you can mess it up really fast. Yeah. I just love cooking seafood. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do.
I'm not a huge fan of seafood at all. I'll eat fish, but that's the extent of my exploring into that area. But like, I do love food for sure, as you can tell. But one thing that I've really, really enjoyed recently is ceviche. And man, there's some awesome places around town that make some ceviche like nobody's business. So that's great to hear that a chef, not another chef, because I'm not a chef, but that a chef also does not like seafood, and we share that in common.
I'll eat it. I'll eat anything. I was just not brought up eating a lot of seafood, so it was never like in my mind. And sometimes when you go to the market, it smells really bad.
Yes.
But once you start seeing how fresh products can be and all this, it's just something else. I love it. Love doing seafood. Yeah.
What is let's focus on the business side right now, or for just a minute. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now as a business owner, and what are some of the things that you're doing to navigate those challenges?
Yeah. So maybe the biggest, I think, and I've talked to a lot of restaurateurs right now, chefs, and it's just having customers at the restaurant. The way of living has changed so much since COVID that we built these restaurants, the business, to have people in them.
Sure.
And if you can't get people in, then you have no business. So our hardest, like what do we do? How can we get? Because we'll have those sales online. DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all this stuff, but you're losing a lot of money on that.
Yeah, of course.
Because
I mean, for the people that don't know, like, talk about if you don't mind. I mean, you don't have to get specifics, but like, talk about that kind of experience for a restaurant owner to use like a service like DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that.
We use it because
it's a necessity.
It's a necessity, right? and we try to steer people not to do it and just call us direct on the phone.
Yeah.
But like we get charged 30% of our of the sale.
Wow.
So if your sale is $10, they get $3. So the rest $7 you have to manage and see how it's not enough to pay whatever you're making.
For sure.
So I had this experience when we first opened.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So just real quick, so just so that I understand. So in addition to the fee that DoorDash is charging the consumer for using the service, and then on top of that, there's a you got to tip the driver or whatever. But in addition to that, they're also collecting 30% from you of the order that's placed with your restaurant.
So they usually, when you're a first customer for them or a first user, they give you something like 30%. They'll start you at 30%, and as you go and you get more customers, as you're more visible, I guess, for them, they start going down. But I have friends that pay like 15, or some don't pay any because they have a lot of traffic, and that's all they do. Like they don't have customer plate. They don't have a real restaurant. They just have like vending. But yeah, for like, I don't understand how can somebody take that decision and be like, I rather pay $9 or $10 plus what the food is. So if you go to the restaurant, it will be $20.
Yeah.
But if you order, you're paying the service
right.
and the tip. You're paying $10 more.
Right. For
something that's gonna be cold. It's gonna be very late or whatever the thing is. I can't understand why people just don't go to the places.
Yeah.
And it takes 20, 30 minutes. If you want to do to go whatever you want to eat at your house, have time to go to one of these restaurants.
It's weird, man, because I think a lot of people think that DoorDash is feeling like a need, or it gives you the illusion. It gives the consumer an illusion of speed, right? Like fast. Like I'm going to get this, I'm going to put the order in and they're going to deliver it to me in 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And the problem with that is that they almost never fulfill that promise, right? Like it's never quick. It's usually, it's usually later than expected. And you're right. The food a lot of times comes cold, because it left the restaurant and it's got to travel to you and all that kind of stuff. You're right, man. I don't know.
And I think it has to do with the way they do their business, because for them it doesn't cost them right? They're getting their money through
Right.
growing the business.
Sure.
So they need to have more users. They have no care of how the food or whatever the service is, as long as they get more users.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
So they feed people like if you use the app between the hours of 5 and 6, you get 30% off your food. Like the other day, I got an order that was 50% off, paid by the DoorDash to get that food, and they like, oh, you're getting still paid full
gotcha.
amount,
Okay.
but we're paying for half.
Yeah, incentivizing the user.
And I was like for me, it makes no sense. But they just want users because they have to show their stockholders or whatever that they're growing the business. If people stop using it, then the business is not growing. So that's how they make their money. They don't make money by delivering food. They don't make their money by, that's the way they don't do.
Yeah.
So people that just got out of work, here it's very long days of work. They just don't want to have to deal and get out of the car and go and order something. But they don't understand that that's killing the industry really, really bad. And they're just making something that's bad for the industry even worse.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you guys are doing in the restaurant to combat that? What are you guys doing? How are you navigating that?
I would just tell everybody to come to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Better service, like the few bad reviews that we have at the restaurant is because of delivery, DoorDash. And, like if you don't want that kind of service, we don't give that service. That's not our thing.
Right.
If you want a good service, good food, come to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And we'll give you top notch.
Yeah.
Everything. So we try to talk to people about just showing up. If they have an order to pick up, I just tell them give us a call. It'll be placed the same time. So I try to not. If I could, I would just turn it off. But then there's slow days where even that little things happen. Help.
It's a necessary evil for restaurants. So I get that.
But I always try to get people, to come to the restaurants and not only us. There's so many restaurants. Just go. Try to remember how nice was when you went to restaurants.
Yeah.
Like going out, having that time out, getting served. And I think that also goes hand in hand how bad service has become. It's really hard to get good service here in the States because people just don't. They're like, oh, we're going to have one table all day. I'm not going to make any money, so why even bother, and then you just get really bad service. And then if it's on, I'm not going to that place because I'm going to get bad service. I just rather get it delivered. So I think we need to get back on giving good service and, just making our little establishments good enough for people to be like, it's
to come to you.
Yeah, it's better to go to this place than order food.
Yeah.
On delivery. And it was weird. I was on Christmas vacation in Juarez, where my wife is from, and all the businesses there were just like booming. Like all the small restaurants, all the little shops, everything was so full because people want to go out and be there. And I don't feel like here in the States or in San Antonio, I don't know, maybe we need to like reestablish that kind of, come on guys, it's good for both of us.
Yeah.
Like if you come in, I'll give you very good service.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trait that we have to push a little bit more. Good service for good.
Yeah.
Good payment. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. That's great. And I think it's good that we're educating folks that may not know how DoorDash is impacting small
very
businesses.
predatory.
Like, yeah, for sure. How do you, kind of shifting gears a little bit? How did you end up in the space that you're in now? Because do you live in the area? You live in?
No, I live over there by Roosevelt Park.
Okay.
But I drive there for 8 years. That Fredericksburg Road.
Yeah.
Going towards Restaurant Depot, and I always saw the
Snow monkey.
The snow monkey, and I think it was called the Gordos Birria or something like that. They had a birria taqueria.
It was like a little
truck.
taco truck. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the sun. So I always drove by there, and when we were looking for a space, we were actually looking that area like West, Taquitos West,
Okay,
and you know that area, and that place just popped up, and it was just you see it, you see the space. I went in and I saw the space, and I was like, this is exactly where it needs to be, like in the corner. There's so much walkable space there. So it just clicked in my mind, like how I saw the space, like the restaurant there.
Yeah.
Since day one. So, but like a lot of Facebook marketplace.
Yeah.
Looking for spaces we were looking for something that was already a restaurant.
Gotcha. Second generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a coffee shop or something that already had passed most of the inspections, or we wouldn't have to spend so much money or time doing that, because when you're building a restaurant, that's where you're hit. Like,
yeah, that's a huge investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having plumbing and electrical, mechanical, all that stuff, it's a big chunk of money.
For
so
sure.
I always tell people that are trying to open new restaurants is try to look for a space that it was already a restaurant, or something that has plumbing and has passed the inspections.
Yeah.
That way, there's some work done,
right,
and you can figure your budget better with that.
Nice. I love how how small your space is, how modern it feels. Just your kind of table set up inside. You got seating outside as well. It's important, obviously, to have a covered patio in the summertime, right? And you've got that. What do you feel like you want people, or how do you feel like you want people to feel when they come and eat at your restaurant?
I want them to feel like they can be there as long as they want, but they can also be there for as little time as they want.
Yeah.
Like one of the decisions why to have standing bars in the restaurant was so that people can, if you just want to come for 2 tacos by yourself and you gotta fly, you gotta go someplace else, you can come in, have 2 tacos, your soda, and leave.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, we're not gonna try to make you stay longer.
Yeah.
But also, if you want to come in with your family or your mom and your son, and like have a meal for an hour or two, or meeting. There's a lot of meetings there. You can have the time to be there, and it's a welcoming spot for whatever need. And I think that brings me back to my experience in Mexico. It's like the taquerias.
Yeah.
You can go there and eat a taco in 5 seconds and keep walking.
Yeah.
Or you can sit down and watch a soccer game for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And eat a lot more tacos.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that we were looking for. That kind of whatever comes.
Yeah.
You can be there. We're not gonna try to sell you more or try to keep you there. But if you want to stay there to watch the whole Manchester United game, you're more than welcome to do it.
I noticed you got football playing most of the time that I've been there. That's awesome, man. Alex, as we kind of wrap up here, I love asking business owners, entrepreneurs, like, about legacy, right? So when you think of legacy, what does that look like for you? What does that look like for your business? What kind of legacy do you want for Tacopolis to have in the community in the greater San Antonio community, and what do you want for your legacy to look like?
And this, I think this is something that I've thought about a lot. What can I give back to San Antonio? And I think I always try to help my younger cooks or people that need help doing a business, not just restaurants, but to think small. You know, I see a lot of people right now trying to be global, or like trying to do 1 million likes in a second or whatever. It's like, figure what you want to do, whatever it is. Take the time to be specific of what you want, how you want to do it, what you want to do. Learn all the ins and outs of that one thing, and then put it out there and try to make people want that stuff.
Yeah.
But I always tell them, like, there's people that want good things. That people don't want a lot of things.
Yeah.
So make sure you, like a menu, I always tell them, like, make sure you have a small menu, a consistent menu, something that is going to blow their mind like the first time, and then they're going to keep coming in because it's just going to be so good and nothing else can compare.
Yeah.
Think small on your business, but then don't be afraid to grow it.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of my biggest problems with Carnitas Lonja, was that I was so comfortable that I got offers to do Carnitas Lonjas all over the country, and I was like, no, I just want to stay here. And I didn't want to grow it. And I think that was a big mistake on my part. But don't be afraid to grow your business, but it doesn't have to be big at first.
Yeah.
Like, learn your craft.
Yeah. Be consistent, I think.
Be consistent and make it the best that you can. If you're going to do chicken sandwiches, make the best chicken sandwiches, not burgers. Don't even think about burgers. Just make the best chicken sandwich. Yeah. And then there's going to be, if we're a city of 1 million people, if you can hit 10,000 people, you're going to be selling, 200 sandwiches a day. That's really good.
Yeah.
That kind of goals is what you want to do. And then from there, start thinking about, like, oh, okay, this area, it's this, we can sell this much, but if we go to another area, there's another 200. And that's the way I think that you should think about growing your businesses, instead of just being like, I want 100,000 people to come to this location at once. Right. 'Cause you're not going to be able to fulfill that amount of food anywhere. And it just becomes something that it's a business that doesn't work.
Yeah, quality over quantity, right?
I think, would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something, and I think that's where I want people to, and the people that I coach in their business and how they look on what they want to do is, look, what do you want to do? Like, the smallest thing that you can think about doing that, think about it, and then from there, grow it. Don't think about a big piece, because it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do that.
Alex, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Yep,
I appreciate the conversation. I'm glad I got to learn more about you and the business. Wish you much success going forward. We got to keep supporting Alex and Tacopolis. You can find, what's the address?
1604 Fredericksburg Road.
1604 Fredericksburg Road, right outside of the Deco District, in between Zarzamora and I-10, pretty close to
Suncrest.
What is it called? The golf course?
Suncrest.
Suncrest?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Suncrest Golf Course. You can go get tacos at Alex's place and then go play mini golf afterwards, or before, whichever works out for you. Alex, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. What are your handles on social media so people can find you on
It's Tacopolis S.A. on Instagram, and I think that takes you to Facebook. I'm not sure what the Facebook. I think it's also Tacopolis S.A.
Yeah, nice. Got some great pictures on there of the food that you guys are cooking. Yeah. You guys are always doing. You do have a small menu, but you also like to add.
Yeah,
some features.
We're changing stuff. We're always doing. Right now, we have the seafood.
Okay.
The shrimp tacos.
You won't see me for that, but I'll be back for some other stuff.
For that stuff. Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, Alex. Guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of Chingon S.A. My name is Luis. We'll see you guys next week. This has been an LIS Studio and Serafina Digital production. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite platform. And tell a friend about the show by sharing this episode on your Facebook and TikTok. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or someone doing really cool things in San Antonio and want to get your story on our show, email us at luis@lealinsurance.com.